3, 2,
Hey,
1.
hello again, everyone. We are back with Brian and Sean and Dan and Richard. So we are talking about the COVID-19 April Brewers bracket, started by Mr. Brian Kieffer, the king of the brackets. And you know what I wanted to talk about, Sean. Now, as a brewer and a brewery owner, what's your thoughts? You know, what have you seen come about from this bracket? Because it's, like I said, it's more than just picking the breweries that you like for it.
So I can actually sum it up best. This morning I made a joke because I posted about my own beer that the tax should be every brewer puts a coupon up, or you got to do something to basically pay the tax for if you rep your own beer, and immediately got 3 orders from members of the bracket. So even though I might have been bowed out in the first round, that tells me people there really want to support local, because now automatically I did that as a joke. I didn't think anybody would care. And all of a sudden people are like, yo, I want to buy some of that new beer you got. And every sale matters so much more than ever before. So it's one of those things that I can't say anything else about it. Obviously people are showing the love. Lower Forge is pretty small in the grand scheme of things. I think we were a lower seed, you know, not the lowest. I have to go back and look. But we're not a huge brewery. We don't have a distribution footprint, and we still get a lot of love. What more can you say? And at some point, the guys from Brotherton owe me a free 4-pack. They said they'll pay up, so I can't complain. I'm getting free beer out of it.
You were the lowest seed. You were 12.
Oh, why do you gotta break my heart like that? Because we're really, really I think we're still, other than Chris at Eclipse, I think we're still one of the smallest.
Yeah, and that's the first thing, because I have friends that live in Lumberton and stuff right near you, and they didn't even know about you. So I told them, I said, hey, there's a brewery right down the road. And they're like, really?
I was about to say, I think I might be getting some feedback from one of you guys.
That was Richard's feedback right there. So.
Oh, there we go.
Richard, you giving us some feedback?
But here's the whole thing with the whole concept is here. He just talked about, he posted something with a new beer that just came out. We are creatures of habit. We always want the latest and greatest, no matter what it is, no matter what it is, and we want to try it. Whether it's good, whether it sucks, we want to try it. And then if it's great, we'll buy more of it. If it sucks, you better have all the good beer because we're going to buy that. And that's basically what the rules are when it comes to beer.
And I put this argument out to somebody because they had an issue with me. I think it was Vinyl versus Icarus, and I love both breweries, but I get IPA'd out constantly, especially when you go to a lot of industry stuff. Dan probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. You go to a lot of industry stuff, you get IPA'd out. Icarus, I love them. They make amazing beer, but sometimes if you want something different, then I'm going to look at another brewery that might have a different strength. And sometimes that doesn't always translate to Untappd. And somebody was like, oh, I can't believe that this upset happened like this. But in reality, it reflected, I think, that you have more than the Untappd crowd in that bracket already. You have a broader representation of the market because you're starting to see some things settle out, not exactly how it would settle out on just a pure Beer Guru app. And I think that's actually really interesting all by itself.
Yeah.
You know what? Also, like, you know, we're talking about the IPAs. Like, for instance, as far as all the breweries, you know, the Ocean County ones I'm more familiar with. Icarus, you know, above all, because Icarus basically is our home base. It's the Ocean County home brewers, and you know they have great IPAs. I'm not a huge IPA fan, but their dark beers, their stouts. Kalishnikov is one of the best beers I've ever had.
Yes.
And it comes in so many different variations. It's amazing the creativity of it. And hey, if this gets people, you know, maybe to travel to different sections of whatever county to try it. I mean, I didn't realize about all of these breweries either. You know, once we're able to travel around and visit, I want to visit some of these breweries that are out there. Some of them really just based on the personalities I see in the posts on Brian's bracket. You know, I want to go out there, you know, and I do know a lot of them already through South Jersey beer scene, but I do want to get out there and see some of these places. You know, and Brian, that's all of you. You have brought the world together, Brian.
Well, I feel like I'm an oddball. I mean, obviously Dan's checked in as almost like he's checked in 7,500 unique beers. I'm at 5,000 on tap. But anywhere I travel, I look for breweries. And now living in South Jersey, as soon as I hear one opens, I'm going there. And it's surprising that everybody commenting on the bracket is like, oh, I never heard of this place. Oh, and these are people that live really close to these breweries. I'm like, how do you not, when you go to one, don't you seek out another one? Because I guess that's how I'm wired. I'm like, I'm always constantly looking, where's the new brewery? Are these breweries pushing out a new beer? And that's why, like, Vinyl, I've been to so many times because they're pushing out new beers almost weekly. And I'm like, oh, now I need to go back there and try that again. It's like,
and they
listen,
do.
Vic,
They have great
Vic,
beers there also. Yeah, Dan.
Vic, I don't get paid from Untapped. I've just been doing it for almost 8 years now. And from what Brian said, is that, all right, I go check a brewery out. Oh, by the way, I'm going on the Untapped app to see how many other breweries are around there too. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to start looking at some of the beers that they have, some of their staples that they make that are good, and I'm going to go try them to see if they're decent or not. And that's my life. I can't wait this COVID crap's over so we can go do that again.
Yeah.
There's a neat story with Untapped ratings too, because I can also look at progress of some of my beers. If they go from 4 years ago, this was, 3.2, 3.3, and now it's 3.6, 3.7, trending up. Well, I mean, somebody must like it if the ratings are going up. And if you combine that, sales data is really my driver. Sales data is 100% my driver. But it's a nice validation that if this beer is selling more now than it was 2 years ago, oh, look, the ratings went up too.
Yep.
It's a nice little picture for the business side of me.
Yeah, but like I haven't been to Spellbound in 5 years. Like, I've had their beers, but I haven't been to Spellbound in 5 years. Like, there's so many South Jersey breweries that are in my 3-year, 5-year clip that I haven't been to that, I might have not have rated them well back then, but I'm sure they've been around. They're still in business, so they must have got better. So I got to go back, and do it again.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd like to throw out something here, and I haven't seen a lot of it, but I've seen a little of it, which is some of the sour grapes that some of the brewery owners have. Maybe if people weren't taking this as a popularity contest kind of comments. Does anybody find that sort of as distasteful as I did? It really is just supposed to be fun. I think to take this so seriously, especially in the middle of a pandemic, is a little self-serving. Like, I really love your thought, Sean. I mean, you're in it for fun. Like you said, you were lower seat, went out, had fun with it the whole time. Really what the whole thing was supposed to be about. So when I see a brewery owner kind of really taking this so hard as if it's some kind of, big, grand, it is actually some kind of real bracket that involves life or death situations, it's really just, distasteful, I think.
But when you look at that gets into the different personalities behind breweries. So
sure.
I've always kind of had fun with it. I mean, our best-selling, most well-known beer, the beer that if World Beer Cup hadn't been canceled, could have done very well for us, is a peach shandy. That is not a beer that's going to excite the Untapped crowd, but every time it's on tap, it absolutely excites my books, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't mean to sound so crass and all about money like that, but it's also a beer that I see my mission is I convert a lot of people into drinking craft beer. And I don't mind being that first step craft brewery that somebody's like, oh my God, there's life beyond Coors Light. I think if you look at some of the brewery owners that take things to heart, it might be representative of something else. But I will say it's very, very few. Everybody is having fun. And even as more things are going on, I think some of the people who early on were taking it personally aren't now. Because now even like at the NJBA meeting today, and I don't know if I'm talking out of turn about this, one of the first things that came up is North Jersey breweries are jealous of the love South Jersey breweries are getting overall. Even the breweries that lose are winning, and they're absolutely jealous of that.
That's
right.
Hey, Richard, the whole thing with yours is that I don't think it's really happening anymore. The brewers still have their stronghold of what they think and what they believe on these certain things that we do, but they're not taking it hard as much as they used to anymore.
Yeah.
That's great. The South Jersey craft beer world is getting bigger, and they're getting a lot more love, from that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why, they're okay with it. And I'm glad for it. I'm glad that, South Jersey has 40-some plus breweries now, which is great. There's 116 in North Jersey. I didn't even know that until I went on the website today. I was like, man, I got some work to do. So, there's it's a good time to be in Jersey right now.
I think the big worry, and this is, I literally right before, as I'm texting you guys, right before this, I was on the Zoom conference for South Jersey Brewers Roundtable, and the big worry is none of us are still competing with each other, even in an emergency. Our big topic was the out-of-state brands that are dumping into our market because their own state markets are depressed. People might get excited, and I'm gonna completely throw them under the bus. Alchemist, other half, they're now going to distro in Jersey. That's great. But Jersey brewers are almost united in that, this might eat into our market. But quite honestly, once the novelty wears off, a whale isn't a whale if it's available at the canals around the corner. It's kind of not going to have a lasting power. But that's the worry. And that's the worry of a small brewery or a big brewery. We're still not competing with each other, even in this, where, this out-of-state brand is going to step on all of our toes. And those two I just used as an example. There are a bunch more, but that was a big topic today.
Yeah, there's a wall right now that's forming around the state of New Jersey. It's a lot tougher if you're an outsider coming in now. I mean, you have people even close by, and you're from PA. The Chamonix Creek is in Chamonix Creek. Chamonix Creek was killing it in Jersey in 2015 and 2016. Yeah, there's still tricking here and there. Weyerbacher, there's another one. Weyerbacher pulled all their stuff out. It's Great Lakes is not going to be distributed anymore in New Jersey, because everybody wants local, fresh, and, they want it right now. They don't want to wait, coming through the 3-tier distribution where by the time they get it, it's, 6 to 8 weeks year old. They're not going to wait for that. I can go get 5 new beers next week at Icarus. You know what I mean? So,
Dan, that does lead to a discussion we've had before on a bunch of shows, and a bigger thing of, and I'll just tell you, I just noticed it. I put a little Easter beer thing together for myself and my family, just looking around, and I saw, CBS put a mixed 6-pack together.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
CBS.
can you imagine a day where something like CBS is just sitting in there you can buy little singles of? I remember when you couldn't get it the next day it was out.
Yeah. There's another company, Founders. They got big. They got real big now. They have to spread the wealth now. KBS sitting on shelves, man. You can go vintage KBS for 4 years now and go to the store and get it. It's like we waited in lines for like 3 hours to get KBS for one bottle. Now you can't do that no more.
And the bigger thing that is, I almost think beer releases in general, like, who's really concerned about beers being released unless it's, like you said, your local brewery that you're into and they're releasing something next week that you want. But in general, I don't think the concept of a beer release is even that big of a thing anymore.
No, it's not.
I never followed that. Like, even when, like, Heady Topper, I was like, I guess Heady Topper's a decent IPA, but it's like, it's nothing special to me. I don't see what the big deal was.
You know what it is, though? I think it's your time in life too, and your beer travels, and because I used to be like that. I mean, I was, waiting in lines for 2-3 hours in 2016, 2017 when the whole haze craze came in there. I was going down to Richmond, Virginia, hanging out, getting there 2.5 hours to sit in Val's line because, their beer was just great. But now Jersey's coming around, and we got some players in Jersey now. So don't get me wrong. I'll still go down to Richmond and take it and go there and ransack Richmond. But listen, I got other players now in Jersey where I don't have to do it all the time. It's great. It's great to be in Jersey right now.
Absolutely, for sure. We're almost out of time here, so I want to start wrapping up. Brian, last words that you have on the bracket, your whole intention and where you see this going.
Hey, I'm just happy. Again, I was doing this with my friends and everything else, and it just grew, and I'm just happy it's helping everybody else get the word out about the local scene. But people are discovering new breweries that they didn't even know about, and they're going out and they're doing the curbside, they're doing the delivery, they're buying beer. I bought more beer this past 2 weeks than I had in the past 2 or 3 months. I've been going out because I went back to to ACO. I've been to Neck of the Woods, and I went to like 5 or 6 different breweries, Cross Keys and 13th Child. I was like, I haven't been there in years, and if I take a different way to work, they're on my way home. So I went there and picked some beers up, and I'm drinking Cross Keys Williamstown Lager now, and I'm just like, I needed to recheck them. I'm so glad I did that. That 13th Child ESB, man, that was good. I love ESBs. That's the first beer that I fell in love with when I became a beer snob, and like I love that style, and not many people do it.
All right, great. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming up with this idea. I think you've really brought a lot of people together. Yeah. Fantastic job. Dan, thank you for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. Sean, always a pleasure having you on, of course.
Always fun.
Richard, my partner, I'm glad you could join us remotely. And with that, I'm going to say farewell to everyone. Keep a lookout for us next time. Remember I said SouthJerseyBeerScene.com, Facebook, Instagram. Also keep an eye out for our Facebook live shows every Tuesday and Thursday. They've been going on, so stay tuned. Keep an eye on the website, Facebook page, see who the guests are going to be. And with that, everyone, cheers, have a good night, and stay safe, all. Take care.
Flatten the curve. Cheers.